With some more breaking news about these WNBA owners, they have put another $1 million proposal on the table. Guys, for this one here.
Guys, check this out. The WNBA just offered a massive salary increase, and the Players Association rejected it instantly. We're talking salaries being quadrupled, a new minimum of $225,000, and an average salary jumping to $500,000. The league thought this would be an easy win. Instead, they're staring at a possible lockout, and the reasons behind it are honestly bizarre. Drop a comment right now. Should the athletes accept this deal, or are they right to turn it down? Because this debate is getting intense. The WNBPA just made a move that shook the league. They looked at an offer that would instantly overhaul player income and said, no thanks. Now we're looking at a potential lockout that could erase all the progress the league made last year. This is a fascinating labor battle because both sides have valid points, but the players are taking a massive gamble that could blow up in their faces. Let's break down what the league actually proposed, because the
WNBA-CBA negotiations, we have some new developments, and we welcome in our WNBA reporter, Alexa Philippou. Alexa, what more can you tell us about where things stand at the moment?
Yeah, George, well, there was a lot of meeting, a lot of back and forth over the last few weeks in hopes of trying to get some movement as yesterday's extension neared. And I can report that, we saw a report a few weeks ago on the league's proposals to the players. I actually have some updated numbers I'd like to share you all of where the league's latest proposal stands. Right now, they are offering a deal with a salary for players at the maximum with a $1 million guaranteed base, projected revenue sharing, pushing those total earnings for maximum players to more than $1.2 million. Sources have told me just now. The average salary projection under this deal, the average salary across the board is projected to exceed $500,000. The minimum salary would be projected to exceed $225,000, sources tell me. And the salary cap would actually increase to $5 million a year, and sources say would be directly tied to revenue growth.
Sources tell me the average salary under this proposal would exceed $500,000. The minimum salary would exceed $225,000. And the team players who once struggled financially would suddenly be earning real wealth. For context, when Caitlin Clark entered the league, rookie pay was around $76,000. The new proposal? $225,000. That's a 300% increase in just a couple years. Anyone looking at these numbers would think players would sign instantly. But that didn't happen. The Players Association plans to reject the deal, and their reasons are raising serious questions about whether they understand basic math. According to reports, the rejection is partly because the pay projections aren't clear and the players don't trust the league's financial calculations. And here's where it gets interesting. The WNBA projected a $500,000 average salary with a $5 million team cap for 12 roster spots. But when you actually run the numbers, a $5 million cap doesn't support a $500,000 average. The cap would need to be roughly $6 million to make that math work. So the players are correct to call out that error.
WNBBPA came up with a 6-week extension until January the 6th for these negotiations. Now, they got a 48-hour window to where the players could say, you know what, we want to cancel out this extension. We want to go.
According to reports, one reason for the rejection is unclear revenue sharing formulas, and that's a valid concern. The league says the salary cap will rise each year and be tied directly to revenue growth, but they haven't shown the detailed revenue numbers behind those projections. Players want transparency. That's fair. But here's where the Players Association is losing public support. The league's proposal eliminates team-paid housing. Right now, teams provide housing during the season, but under the new deal, players would have to find their own apartments, and apparently, this is a major deal-breaker for the union. Here's why that argument doesn't land well. At $3,000 a month. 6 months of rent is around $18,000. You'd still clear over $200,000. Demanding free housing feels out of touch. To the public, it makes players look entitled. Most Americans would give anything to earn $225,000 and pay their own rent. Now, the season earlier and extended, which could overlap with March Madness, arguably the most powerful marketing engine women's basketball has. Caitlin Clark and Paige Bueckers became national icons because of March Madness. Cutting into that exposure is risky. The league says they want to avoid competing with the NFL and college football. That makes business sense. But sacrificing free March Madness publicity, that might be short-sighted. The other motive is competitive. An extended WNBA season would crush rival leagues like Unrivaled and Project B by eliminating the off-season window. It's strategic, but risky. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. A potential lockout. If players reject this offer, we could see the entire 2025 WNBA season shut down. Owners are billionaires. They don't like being told no, especially when they believe they're offering a generous deal. These owners have never made a profit from the WNBA. They've subsidized it for years. Now that there's momentum, largely thanks to Caitlin Clark, they feel players should be grateful. When ego enters labor negotiations, things get ugly fast. A lockout would be catastrophic. The league just had its best year ever. Ratings soared. Attendance spiked. Sponsorships skyrocketed. Millions of new fans tuned in again, thanks largely to Caitlin Clark. A lockout would blow all of that up overnight. And players have far less leverage than they think. Owners can wait. Missing a season barely affects them. But for players, whose careers are short and whose earning windows are tiny, missing a season is devastating. Players also seem to believe the league needs them more than they need the league. That used to be true, but not anymore. Caitlin Clark changed everything. If the league shuts down and Caitlin decides to spend her time on endorsements or play overseas, the fans who came because of her won't stick around. That doesn't diminish stars like Aya Wilson or Breanna Stewart. They're phenomenal. But they didn't move the needle like Caitlin. The Players Association's leverage isn't as strong as they think. Yes, their right to demand clear revenue-sharing math. Yes, their right to question the salary cap calculations. But rejecting a historic financial overhaul because of housing? That's not reasonable. A lockout would destroy the league's momentum, damage sponsorships, fracture the talent pool, and pride often wins over logic. So that's where we stand. The WNBA offered life-changing money. The